we bring you a big expose on how Chinese loan apps are working in India, targeting vulnerable people. These people borrowed quick loans to support their families, but the killer Chinese loan apps got the better of them. At least 7 suicides just in the last 2 months, the latest of a 17-year-old Harita Vashni from the NTR district of Andhra Pradesh, who took her own life as she just couldn't endure the prolonged harassment that she and her family were facing for borrowing an educational loan of 6.5 lakhs. So what really led to these people wanting to end their own life? We break the modus operandi of how these loan apps actually scammed people. Let's break down those details for you. We're going to do it stage-wise. We're going to first tell you what these apps look like, how they identified the people, and then eventually scammed and even harassed them. Take a look at all of this very, very carefully. The first stage is the setup. There are fake Chinese fintech companies. They linked a loan app, created it, and then uploaded it. Email IDs are used, traced back to China, Hong Kong, as well as Macau. After the setup is done, then we move to stage 2. And this is very, very crucial. Let's break down those details as well. What do you see in stage 2? You see advertisements on social media, emails, and even TV channels. What does the ad say? Look at this language carefully. Loans in just one click. It's a click and bait. Interest just rupees 400 per week. But people don't know what is going to follow once they fall under this trap. Target audience or the victim for them is small businesses or hit by COVID or even the lockdown. Once these advertisements are done, once they've identified these vulnerable people and victims, what happens next? Let's break down those details. Then we move to stage 3, which is the loan which eventually gets released. The victim is approached on the loan app. Then what happens? After you've made a contact with the victim, the loan app communicated with a payment getaway. Once the amount is decided upon, then the info profile of the victim is taken, and this is where the problems begin, because all your personal information is now in the hand of these scammers. The loan is given out, remember, from a fake fintech company. This is where we started from. Let's now move on and talk to you, where does the harassment begin and what is the kind of aspects that we need to be very, very careful about. The fourth stage is the recovery. Data on the victim is harvested. As I pointed out, all your personal information is with these scanners. Call center units deployed, Indian callers. Victim shamed among contacts, pictures of the victim morphed and then distributed. This is where the harassment takes place as far as these scammers are concerned. This is why I said this is a story that has a lot of relevance for people like me and you. So as I said, over the next 30 minutes, we'll be discussing how you can protect yourself as far as these scams are concerned, because you could be next. We will tell you how to protect yourself. First, we want to bring you a victim who's now joining us from Mumbai. The identity is held on request. We appreciate you taking out the time and joining us here on CNN News 18. Could you begin from where it all started? What is the kind of loan that you wanted? Which was this app that you saw on social media, and what happened from there on?
Hi. Basically, in 2021 on September, actually I was watching something on YouTube. So there was an ad came for a Lendmall application. So that time I just ignored it, because at that time I was not in need of money. But after some days, actually I was in need of money due to my financial crisis. So I opened the Google Play Store and I downloaded the application. So in the beginning, the process was little bit easy. They take your Aadhaar card, they take your PAN card, and in the last process, it's like there is a video in which you have to put the camera in front of your face, and there is a video recording hardly for 20 seconds. You need to move your head from left to right. So that is the last process. So in that, the amount which has been shown, they don't provide you that amount. Okay. If suppose, for example, they are giving me 1,000, and in 7 days I have to pay back them 2,500 in 7 days, and in the 5th day they start calling you. There is a due of your loan, so you have to make the payment, before the due date, they will continuously call you.
Okay.
Until unless you
so
won't
before
pay
we
it back.
just go forward as far as where do the calls and harassment begin, so you said in the initial stage your documents are taken like your Aadhaar and your PAN card, and those details are kept with them, and then a time period is also given to you and how long you have to return that money, and when do the calls begin and what do they look like?
There is a due date of 7-day time period.
Okay.
And on the 5th day you get the calls. You have to your loan amount is pending. But one more thing, in the application it is clearly shown that it is RBI registered and NBFC financial.
Okay, so I just want to go
that
back to the
easily
interface. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting. You know, because a lot of viewers could not know that they could also become the next target. So I'm just breaking this down point by point. When you looked at the interface as far as this app is concerned, as I pointed out when I started, these are fake fintech companies. So there was no red flag for you. It was just like any other app that me and you use on a day-to-day basis. How did the interface look like?
Means it was like a normal, means the ratings all were in the ratings all was good in the Google Play Store. And once you open the application, you know, actually people, they won't doubt looking at the application. You know, they made the application in such a simple way. Once you open, it is clearly written, it is RBI registered, NBFC. So you know, people think, yeah, it's a genuine application.
True. So I want to understand. So you're saying that people won't be able to identify that it's a dubious app, or there could be some sort of harassment that follows. I just want to understand, what is the initial amount of loan that you wanted, and what did you end up paying, and in how many days? What did the harassment look like?
Actually, I took a total loan of more than 3 lakhs from total 11 applications. So I made the payment. Till now I have made the payment more than 15 lakhs.
It's terrible.
More than 15, yeah, more than 15 lakhs I have made the payment. So what happens is, for each application there is a due date of 7 day.
Okay.
Of 7 days. If you cross the 7th day, at the 8th day the executive, he will call you, and the way he speaks, seriously, that is totally terrible. And the language which they use, seriously, very vulgar and very bad language.
You know, we said this when we started the show, that the biggest problem for most of the victims like you is that all your personal information is in their hands and they're misusing it. How did they use your personal information? Did they also morph your pictures? Did they reach out to your family members as well?
Yeah, they morphed my images, one of my images, and they have shared it to one of my colleague. And secondly, I got a WhatsApp messages. The WhatsApp message was so vulgar. I can't even show the message to anyone. So dirty text there were in the WhatsApp messages, and they call you continuously. They call you. Once you receive the call, the way they speak, seriously, the day which I removed, seriously, it's a terrible nightmare for me. I just want to suggest one thing for the youngsters and for everyone. Please don't get trapped into this mess. The day which I have seen, please don't get into this.
Stand another aspect. You said whatever loan you took, you paid almost 15 lakhs. That's almost double or triple.
More than 15.
More than 15
more
lakhs.
Than 15.
So that's almost more than triple of what you had initially taken. When does it all stop, or does it actually stop?
No, actually what happened, when it stopped, when I reached BKC Cyber Cell in Mumbai, BKC Cyber Cell, I told them the scenario, I gave all the supportive documents, I told them they are harassing me, I gave them all the details, the WhatsApp messages, from the number which I used to get calls, I gave them all the details. So after that they started tracking them, and after that, seriously, now I am feeling much better. I don't receive any calls and messages now.
Okay.
Because they helped me a lot, BKC Cyber Cell.